Major disaster today, friends. Oh, I think I got some sulfuric acid in my eye. Oh. So, big issue. The big issue is that... Let me tell you a backstory. Let me tell you a backstory. So I had to go get a battery for my Porsche, and I decided to take the Beast. And I threw the battery in the trunk. And that was a mistake, especially the way I drive, because the lead acid battery tipped over and spilled sulfuric acid all over the back of my trunk. So I'm going to have to replace some of these pieces. Some of them they're partially plastic, partially fabric. Some of them have been eaten through. A number of these plastic bolts just melted. The sulfuric acid just ate right through them. These pieces I'm keeping, and some of those pieces I'm keeping, but I'm going to have to replace some of it. And that's not the disaster. But first, I need to clean up the trunk a little bit. I needed to redo some wiring that was installed last year for a rear-mounted camera. The wiring also needed to be cleaned up because it was pretty greasy, I'm guessing from the sulfuric acid, so I wanted to clean that up really good. And then I also need to put in a ground. And do some vacuuming. Woo! And that's not the disaster. The disaster is the power cable that powers the car and the starter and everything else. Look how much this has bulged. Yeah. I am surprised this didn't catch fire, to be honest with you. So, pretty lucky that I found that before that happened. But it's also good, maybe timely, that I installed a fire extinguisher. And it's kind of dark in here, so you can't see that. Let there be light. Actually, this fire extinguisher mount is made by a company called Angry Ass, of all things. They make a fire extinguisher mount for the E32 and E34 chassis, not for the E39, but I was able to verify that it fits on the E39. Don't get frustrated, you DeWalt guys, because I'm also a Milwaukee guy. I'm both. So I followed the wire from the back through the rear, comes out into the cabin behind the rear seats right there, goes down, goes down there under the passenger side rear seat, up to the front here. I removed a clip there and a bolt there, and lift this up. There you can see the wire that goes there. It is, and it goes through the floor right here. So now I got to get the car up in the air and pull the plug off the bottom, I believe, and then I'll be able to get this out. So got to get the car running again. So this is where that full length of the battery cable from the trunk to the front of the car, it terminates right here under the passenger seat. So you have to remove the passenger seat and the rear back of the seat, the rear base of the rear seat, to get this entire cable out. So there's a lot of disassembly and reassembly involved, but nothing too difficult. We're going to remove this plug here. To expose the nut that holds this in place. I've already loosened it, so I can just grab it by hand here. Oops. Okay. So that is the front half of it. And the rear half of it has this plastic nut on it. Which, righty tighty lefty loosey, which you can, which I can't do by hand, but you might be able to do it by hand. Just give that a little twist, and boop, pop. That comes off, and then I've already loosened the nuts. There's two nuts that hold this piece to the body of the car, and I loosened those already, so this should just pop right up, and then we can take it out.